without tear ducts. That might have been Tori laughing. Because we're all trapped inside.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Thank you for tuning into Plus Time, a live stream comedy show to get us all through this. I'm your host, Jameson Rogers, and as always, I'm here to remind you that even though things suck right now, and you know what, sometimes they really suck a lot. If we keep moving forward and we keep using whatever extra time we have to create things, we can all look back on this one day and laugh as if the world continues to spin. Getting us started off right is my co-host of 97 episodes and my brother of 30 danged years, Drew Rogers, everybody. What's up, Drew?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm going to put in my other earbud.
Cool.
I'm prepared for the show.
Very, very nice. As always, we're brought to you unofficially by Ginger's Bunkhouse Spicy Ginger Ale, with a name so good, it's okay that it's hard to open. Oh my gosh, that's so good. All right, we have taken the past 2 months off. I think, we didn't have a show in June or July. We were initially planning on doing like the whole 3-month summer situation, but you and I were both kind of just itching to get back here a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. So here we are. We're doing it for you, which, based on the looks of it, is 2 people who are looking at us right now. And it's for you guys because we missed you and we knew that you missed us. And also, I don't have a whole lot else going on right now. I don't know about you, man. I do have a list of things I wanted to talk about. And this time, it's in this composition.
Oh, smart.
Yeah. First of all, we got 2 strikes happening now. 1 more, and we're out. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I am legitimately sorry about it.
You're better than that.
Yeah.
Are you?
Well, it's debatable. We don't really know that. There for a second, it looked like UPS was going to strike, but then that was like an 11th hour deal that they made that was apparently like really good. I haven't looked into it, but apparently like, just really good for drivers and anybody like working at UPS. So that's a good thing. I know that's not really like super connected to the WGA and SAG or whatever, but like that's good to know that happened.
Yeah, positive. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
We here at Plus Time are always about positive things.
We're all about positives. We're not minus time over here. You dummies. I'm sorry I said that. I didn't mean it. You're not dumb.
That was negative, Jameson.
That was negative? You're right.
Plus above it.
You smarties. Is that better? You smarties?
Yeah.
Which, you know what's a better candy? Smarties or Dum-Dums. Like, I like Dum-Dums. More of a flavor variance there, which is good. Smarties, they taste fine, but they're kind of one note, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Okay, strikes, I'll check that off. That's the thing that I said.
Hey, your writers and your actors, don't let your actors become weird AI monster things.
Oh, that stuff is crazy. I can't believe that is like a real thing we're dealing with, It's just like, oh yeah, we want to just own your likeness forever, and that's and you can just like sign it over to us, and then we can just like. And what's weird is like studios and the AMPTP are just acting like it's strange that people don't want that. Like, what do you mean? I mean, you can be around forever. Like, that's not how I want to be around forever. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, first of all, immortality sounds terrible.
It does.
Bit, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I'm exhausted now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we haven't even been here that long in the grand scheme of things. 30 plus years. We're you know, it's tiring. You know? But you know, here's the thing. It's like if it comes to leaving a lasting impact on the world, like I want to like write and make something that like people like. I don't want just like my image to be available in perpetuity. You know, like, hey, you're also just a ghost, and it's fine, and we're all fine with it. You know, that doesn't.
Now you're in the background of everything.
Yeah, I don't want that. I think that's very strange. I think it's weird that they think that is fine. Oh, a weird shadow just walked by behind me. It is my girlfriend.
Hello.
Who is
Happy almost birthday.
Drew says happy almost birthday to you. She's got a birthday coming up this week. She just took a sip out of my spicy ginger ale.
It's cutie tax, sorry.
Yeah, cutie tax. All right. So what else? Okay, yeah, no. Striking good because we support it, because you should pay the people who make your shit and make you like ridiculous amounts of money. So maybe just like just carve off a little piece of that. That's all we're fucking asking for.
Mm-hmm.
I say, even though I'm in neither of these unions, but I support them both. It's also strange too, because like this actor strike is happening now, and I like when I moved down here, it was like hey, they make a bunch of stuff down there. I'm gonna audition for some things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, I did one short film and stuff. Again, like not like in the union or anything, but it just like seems like pickings are slimmer. There are less things out there. They're like, granted, the guild are granting a lot of dispensations to different productions that are smaller and like not related to any of
A24 is one of the exceptions to the list of things.
Right, A24 is doing like 2 or 3 movies are like during this, and I know, yeah, it just sounds shady. Like I was kind of like hesitant. I know Sarah Silverman came out against it a little bit, like, hey, you know, that's not how strikes work. Like you're not supposed to do that. And then I saw another heading, like an article headline the other day that was just like that, like she sat down with some people and now she's like changed her mind or whatever. So I guess like maybe that's a good thing. And also, you know, if you want to make stuff with your friends, now's a really good time to do that. Just don't like, you know, do it with the express purpose of selling something that you're making to some huge studio, even if they offer you a ton of money. Just, I don't know if that's going to happen. It's just like these thoughts that I have in my head now.
Yeah,
like I just don't want
shit for people to enjoy rather than like make shit for the potential of it getting.
Right, exactly. I just, even if I didn't know what it was to be a scab, it doesn't sound like something I want to be. You know what I mean? Anyway. All right. Yeah, pay your writers, pay your actors, etc. So I have been doing, like, they announced this a couple months ago, shortly after the writer's strike began. But Ed Solomon, if you know that guy, he wrote Men in Black. He is uncredited on the first X-Men movie. He, created the Bill and Ted movies. He's written all of those and a lot of other things. And he got together with the Blacklist. And if you don't know about the Blacklist, it's like a annual list of unproduced screenplays that, you know, have a lot of them have gone on to like win Oscars and stuff like that. After like being on the list, they get produced. Anyway, so they got together and they started this free writers workshop. And if you are a writer or you have interest in writing, you know, we can talk, like message me or just look for Word by Word or the Blacklist, or you know how to Google probably. And that's just been a weekly thing that they're doing. They have like a bunch of different guest speakers. A couple weeks back, they had Lord and Miller, you know, everything. Yeah, that was a really good one. And so those are very valuable things. So I'm obviously not being paid by them or anything, but they also are trying to raise money for writers who are out of work during this strike, and like the support staffs of, like, you know, writers assistants and all sorts of people who are out of a job right now because of these strikes. And it's just like, you know, the way the studios and the AMPTP want to frame it is like these selfish ass actors and writers are, taking away your jobs, but that's not what's happening. Like they're, that's how we, the people, change things. Is like we say, hey, we're not going to keep just doing this for you if you're not going to pay us fairly, right? Mm-hmm. And so that does, unfortunately, leave some people out of a job. But there are these funds that you can donate to. If we can, we will post links in the chat shortly. So if you do have any money to give to those types of things, I think you should. Cool. All right. I think we covered strikes, right? Mm-hmm. Move on to the next thing. Secret Invasion. Okay. You watched Secret Invasion. We watched both of us. And we won't spoil anything for you in case you're like just a Marvel kid who's behind the times a little bit. It didn't wow me totally as far as Marvel stuff goes, but like people are acting like it like murdered their family or something. It's like, whoa, cool your jets.
It's insane how people react to shit like that. Like,
yeah,
comic book fans have always been, weird about stuff like that since, them bringing back Jason Todd from the dead, or doing this, that, or the other.
You know what it was too? It's like they killed Jason Todd because and they felt like they had ownership of that decision because that was like an actual poll, right? It was like, do you think that Jason Todd should die? And then
comic so readers at the time that it's just like, hey, Joker's kidnapped a child, so everyone should want that child to die.
Yeah,
and they were like, yeah, of course,
absolutely, yeah. And I feel like that was like the first instance of people like just the fans having too much power. You know what I mean? Because like. Now, with things like that, things like The Rock catering to fans with the Black Adam movie, or like the way the animation of Sonic changed after that first teaser because people were like, "What the fuck?" Yeah. Well, but now like people just kind of have too much power and they think they have infinite power, which is strange when some kind of property comes out and there is a faction of people who don't like that thing. They just feel like, what the hell? You made a thing that didn't completely, meet my expectations, not even in terms of quality, but just like, this isn't the content I expected. Oh yeah, you can look down in the comments now and there are links to several organizations that you can donate to for people who are affected by the strikes. So, do that if you got the dough to do that. Let's see. Oh yeah, so it gives the fans too much power, and it's also it's coming along at a strange time, in the midst of these strikes and everything, where people didn't really like how that landed. It didn't meet the expectations they had. It's like, what the hell? This isn't the thing that I expected. Like, if you are going into watching something with specific expectations and you want those expectations to just be completely met, we're like, this is the story that I had in my head and I want to see the story I have in my head. Then what are you doing? You're not coming into it with good faith trying to enjoy something. Like, I want to be affected by a story. I want to be surprised by something. You know what I mean?
For real.
I don't know. Yeah. So I think that's weird, the way that people just think they have so much power at this point. And yeah, you can vote with your dollars and stuff like that. You can not go see a thing. You can, cancel your Disney Plus subscription if that's what you want to do.
But you don't want to do
it. Yeah, probably not.
You're not going.
Ahsoka's coming up. That looks pretty dope.
Or like, oh, I'm never going to watch another Marvel thing again. It's like,
yeah, you are. Yeah, people say that after every single thing. And by the way, Guardians 3 is coming to Disney Plus tomorrow, I think.
I was just about to say something.
Oh my God, I love that movie. I'm so excited to watch that again.
I was so excited, but I was hesitant to go see that because I already knew Rocket's backstory, and I was like, no,
Yeah.
no,
I was
I don't.
it's gonna
wanna-
break
I
me.
don't- Yeah. But
And I definitely
beautiful.
felt some very strong feelings in the theater. But man, I cannot wait to watch that movie again. And if you haven't seen it, watch it tomorrow.
yeah, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, what's wrong with you? Secret Invasion. Oh yeah, and Loki's coming out. There's some cool stuff happening. Anyway,
Weirdly,
oh.
my biggest problem with Secret Invasion was the idea that they had this huge like camp in Chernobyl, which was cool,
yeah,
but like half of them they didn't look like Skrulls, and it was like, oh yeah, well, they've been sworn to keep up appearances.
yeah,
And it's like, well, that's lazy.
yeah. I get that. And then you
Like,
see that.
You were like the leader of your kind, and you were shapeshifters. You would want your people to see your real face, wouldn't you?
Yeah. And then, but that's the thing too, is then when people are down on something and they can't really put their finger on what it is they don't like, they always blame the writing. And I don't think the writing is like totally the problem there. It's like, it's not always perfect, but like you look at Olivia Colman's character, she has so many good lines, first of all. And like, it's not like it was like totally lacking story wise. I think a lot of people like there were things that were resolved, but I think one of the things that really sucks in specifically with Marvel is like they'll just reshoot and reshoot and reshoot and reshoot based on a lot of times, people's expectations or, like things that are testing well. Like, it's cool though that like, I mean, with James Gunn, they just let him do his thing. Like, they're like, hey, you know how to tell a story. You go do it. And look at that. Like, I mean, those movies, I would argue that is maybe the best trilogy at this point. I know, I
would agree.
Yeah. I think previously I would have said like Back to the Future, pretty perfect. I mean, the third one's my least favorite of the three of those, but I mean, that's a great friggin' trilogy. But
the idea that a like third act landed is like good enough to be like a woo.
Exactly. But yeah, Guardians I think is just kind of a flawless trilogy. It's very, very good. Anyway, but that's kind of the problem is like they'll just reshoot stuff over and over again, just based on testing or just like people just saying shit or, and I think there's been a lot of studio interference over the past few years too. Like, I think Quantumania feels like a real mess to me, but I don't think it's like the writing. I think it's like there are some great written moments in there. It's just like when it comes to final cut, I feel like there are a lot of things that are just don't really get resolved, and they're just like, yeah, this is fine. And let me tell you something. As a writer /
15 minutes of it are like, oh, everything's terrible. Oh man.
That's fine. And I do like this. I think enough time.
Yeah. Did he get out?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's funny, but he should have got stuck there.
Yeah. Quantumania is the thing that I have.
Like shut the thing with Scott in it.
Oh, that would have been really cool. Yeah. Yeah, Quantumania is the first thing that I had like a problem with. I didn't feel super good about. But again, like, I mean, it is clearly not, as someone who writes things, and you can attest to this as well, Drew.
I have seen you write things.
No, and you are also a writer, and you write some really good and funny and good stuff. Drew is a very talented writer. In case you don't know that, give him a pat on the friggin' back over here. I'm saying friggin' a lot. I think I watched like 4 episodes of Last Man on Earth a couple weeks ago, so I'm saying friggin' a lot. That's great. But what was my point? Oh yeah, like just as a writer, like if you see something where like things are not resolved, like it bugs you, right? Mm-hmm. So can you and the fact that people will blame a writer when stuff like that happens, when it's like clear that like, okay, we've sown some seeds that then just it is, like no writer chooses that. You know what I mean?
For instance, the ending of The Sopranos.
But you know what? I like it. I'm one of the few.
I do too,
people-
and I like the
Yeah.
idea that it, like, you know, it's up in the air of just like, you know, the Soprano family is never really truly safe.
Yeah.
So it's like, even if that's Meadow, someday it's going to be someone else.
Hmm. Yeah. Remember, like last year, maybe like 2 years ago, for the Super Bowl, they recreated the opening credits with Meadow. It was like, oh, okay, what are we doing
I
now?
didn't see that, but
Oh yeah, I'll have to
look that up.
I'll have to send that too. It was. I think it was like a car commercial or something.
That
But it was
checks
like, all right, what are we doing here? And then it's like car commercial, and I'm like, all right, that's fine. I also really like the prequel to that movie. Anyway. Okay, Secret Invasion. We talked about it.
Don't
Uh,
tell me.
All right, ginger ale. I wrote down here. We already talked about that, and I'll just like flash that up there
Brought to you
again.
by
real
Ginger
quick.
Ale.
Just cause. Brought to you by Ginger's Bunkhouse Spicy Ginger Ale. Pay us about it because we like your product. Unless you're anti-union, in which case I will pour it down the drain, you fucking tool. I'm sorry. Okay, ginger ale, check. We were just talking about Wes Anderson. Because, okay, so, like, if you haven't been watching this season of The After Party, first of all, love The After Party. That's another Lord and Miller thing. Technically, it is a Chris Miller thing, and I want to make that distinction because it's, like, one of the first things, maybe the first thing that they've done where it's, like, one of them created this thing. The other one didn't, you know?
Yeah.
And I just want to make that distinction because I think they would want that. The Coen brothers have kind of split up now, too, which is a weird thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Joel Coen directed the Tragedy of Macbeth with Denzel Washington, and there's a trailer now for the new Ethan Coen movie called Drive Away Dolls, I think is what the name of it is. And
I think
they
saw a
they
trailer
look.
for that.
Go ahead. What did you say?
I think I saw a trailer for that.
Yeah, they look like. I mean, they're wildly different things, but it's weird. Like our brother Cam visited here a couple weeks back, and we watched like the trailers for them back to back, and it's like you can really see where both of these people's like sensibilities are and how they meld together. And we watched the trailer for Burn After Reading, and it's like that is a perfect like meshing of those things, you know. And but anyway, that's my point. Is like as someone as like a brother who likes to work with my brothers, you know. Like we all have these different sensibilities that like go well together, and we're figuring out continuously how to work with one another, which is very cool. But I just want to like continually make the distinction that like if you make something, you should be credited, you know, with it. And that, you know, again, like not to get back into strike stuff, but like let's talk about that's one of the reasons that there's a strike happening right now. In the past couple of years, they've started doing these mini rooms. Right, where they'll just like put together these rooms for people to like talk about story and basically like write things for a much reduced fee and not actually get like a staff writing job. And then like the creators of the show or like the producers will end up credited on the episode where they aren't. And you know, just credit people who do the work. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
All right. My point. I don't know how I got here from Wes Anderson. Oh, no, okay, yeah, that's right. So last week's episode of The After Party, it was like, you know, the way that show works is, you know, every episode is kind of in a different style based on who they're talking to, who they're like interviewing about the murder. Yeah, it's a great show. And last week it was fully just a Wes Anderson episode. Yeah. And usually it's like, you know, some kind of genre. Like I think tomorrow's there's like a heist thing, and then there's like a you know
Bond-esque.
Right. And then there's like a noir episode, and it always comes down to kind of these general genre type things, a rom-com, a period drama. But last week it was like, oh, it's like, you know, the genre of Wes Anderson. And I don't know, it's weird and funny to see how a filmmaker just becomes synonymous with just like, you make this specific type of a product to the point where, yeah. So, you know, as a result, I've kind of started going back and watching some of Wes Anderson stuff because I've always liked Wes Anderson. And I rewatched Bottle Rocket, which if you haven't seen Bottle Rocket, that's a great one. But it is like the least Wes Anderson of them. It just kind of feels like an indie movie from the mid '90s. It's not all the like their specific camera moves, but it's not like
everything is
art directed to hell.
meticulously placed and
Right. But I just started. I was watching when Drew and I got on to do the test today before the show. I was watching Grand Budapest Hotel, which I watched it like a couple years ago, like at a friend's recommendation. She's like, "Oh yeah, that's my favorite one." So I'm like, "Okay, I'll check it out." And I think I just like wasn't really paying that close of attention. But yeah, I'm just kind of like working through the ones that I haven't really seen much of. So I'll probably watch Isle of Dogs again. And we were just talking about this too. The French Dispatch is one that I haven't seen, and it seems like pretty well regarded critically. But everyone I talked to was like, "That one is the worst. It is the most Wes Anderson thing you've ever seen. It is too much." So I'm curious to see how that goes, because now watching Grand Budapest Hotel, I'm like, this is too much. I'm enjoying it. But it's like,
the Fantastic Mr. Fox is like on like my top 5 list. But yeah,
for
Wes
sure.
Anderson
And that's the
is
thing
a
is like, it feels like he should just be making stop motion movies, and that's what he really wants to do. But the weird thing about it is, it takes a lot less time to use real actors if you're gonna pay them, at least.
He should direct Scud the Disposable Assassin.
That would be interesting. Yeah. Wow.
I just want to see what he'd do with Pockets.
Yeah, that would be really interesting. Especially because, like, shout out Rob Schraub. We're Facebook friends. Maybe you're watching.
I like you.
Yeah, I like you. I like
your work.
Yeah, I like your work a lot. I'm a big Scud fan. It's hard to imagine that combination, because there's like not a lot of symmetry in his work. It's like kind of a lot of things happening at once, which I really enjoy.
That's why I was like, oh, it'd be a cool combo.
Right. In like when Scud was happening, the Oliver Stone optioned the book to maybe make a movie, and that's how he and Dan Harmon ended up in LA apparently.
Really?
Yeah, which that would have been a really strange. I think he would have been fine with it. I'm not a huge Oliver Stone guy, but anyway, okay. We mentioned Wes Anderson. Right here, I just wrote haircut pending. I got a haircut. It is scheduled. Finally, it is. I'm shaggy as all hell right now. It is ridiculous. But I finally have a haircut scheduled. So I'm just updating you guys on that in case you're like, why does he look like that? And the answer is,
he look like
because it's not Thursday yet, and that's when I'll finally get a haircut. It's weird. Like, it seems like, there are too many people in the city, and I've been here almost a year now. We're coming up on a year. And I am one of the too many people here. And so it's weird. Like, I was trying to make a haircut appointment for like a couple months, and it just kept being like, okay, the earliest we can get you in is 1 month from now. And it's like, wow, there's too many damn people. So finally, just in time, for my girlfriend's birthday, I'm going to get a haircut, and maybe she'll love me again. Looking forward to that.
Shout out to Anna, hoping you love my brother again.
Yeah. And I'm sure I will make this joke on her actual birthday, but make sure you hurry up and wish her a happy one when it comes, because it is a short one this year. It's her 32nd birthday. Okay, so that is, there's one more thing I have to talk about here, and I know you have not watched it yet, or maybe you have at this point, but Twisted Metal.
Yeah, dude, I watched
Did you start
the first episode of it the other night. So good.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah. First of all, again, back to striking just for a second. The writers of the Deadpool movies and the Zombieland movies, which, by the way, like, I watched the second Zombieland movie again. Like, I watched it, when it first came out, and I was like, that was okay. I watched it again while I was cooking the other day, and it's really fucking funny. It's a pretty fun movie. But I love the Deadpools. I'm very excited about the third one. It's a bummer that like they had to shut down because of the strikes and everything. But yeah, really looking forward to that. They wrote the pilot for this Twisted Metal show, and there's so much good happening in it. And make sure that they get paid.
So much. The whole it doesn't stop.
Yeah, it's very fun. But like that's the thing is like I don't have a big relationship with the property at all. Like I've played maybe 10 minutes of the Twisted Metal game at some point in my life. I knew that there was like good people involved in the cast and the creative team. I'm a big fan of Mike Mitchell, also a Facebook friend of mine. We've got Will Arnett, Samoa Joe, Anthony Mackie, Stephanie Beatrice, who's fucking amazing in this show. Anyway, okay. And Sean Diston from Comedy Bang Bang, and he writes for the show as well. So I was like, okay, I'll check this out. Anna's over here like taking a nap on the couch, and like we'd been watching a lot of Trek, and I was like, I'll just throw this thing on real quick, thinking that I would get like half an episode into it, and then I'd be like, all right, well I'll revisit that if I can't sleep, But then, Anna woke up, and then we just kept watching it. We watched the first 7 out of 10 episodes that night. It's like, this is, like, so good. it is
really, yeah, I had a lot of fun watching it, but it was, like, 2:30 by the time I was done. I was like, all right, I can't watch another one.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It is shocking how well it works. I shouldn't be shocked, again, because of, like, the pedigree both behind and in front of the camera on it. It's just, it's very well done. It's very fun. And I guess like for me, I just think anytime there's some sort of post-apocalyptic thing that happens, or any video game adaptation for that matter, because we all know there's not a whole lot of those that go well. So I was like, all right, I'm going in with pretty limited expectations here. And I don't know, man, it's just like, it feels very emotional and it feels whole. It feels, and it's exciting, and I hope they get to do more of it. Anyway,
agreed.
That's Twisted Metal. You want to play a game, or do you have some stuff to say? Cool. We're about to play a game, of course, that we like to call. All right. Of course, this is a game called Who Am I? And the way this game works is we're going to take a little character that Drew has drawn. And if I didn't mention it already, Drew drews things. He's doing it right now. Look at him. He's drewing.
I drew things.
He's drews all kinds of stuffs all the time.
I had to draw Scud so that way, people would actually have a frame reference.
Oh, very good. Yes. Yeah, Scud the Disposable Assassin, great comic book written and drawn by Rob Schrab. If you don't know it, find it. It's great.
Now, yeah.
Let's see. Okay. The way this game works is we will show you a character that Drew has drawn, and we're going to ask questions about it. Whether you want to answer them, whether we end up answering them, I don't care. You know what I mean? We're loose. We're free today. We're just we're going to play this game. And then here we go. Let's go ahead and throw this person up in the middle of the screen there. All right, there they go. Let's throw them down in the corner. Get them out of our faces and whatnot. So the first question, as always, what is this character's name?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's my job here, to not know. I drew it, and I was like, it's missing something. And then I was like, oh, that. So I drew it real quick. It was like, perfect. I'm not going to change the thing.
I love it. Yeah. I was just thinking, like, it makes him look like he's going fishing, but like he's like a bob, like at the end of bait. So he's like, maybe he's just like a sentient one of those.
He's the bob.
Yeah, he's just like floating. He's got a hook underneath him.
So his name is Bobber.
All right, let's see here. Oh, this is a fun one. Streetly Bingles. That's a good one. Streetly Bingles, and he is a bobber. As far as I'm concerned, what's their job? He's a bobber. And maybe other things on the side. I don't know. Streetly Bingles.
Other buoyant things.
He does other buoyancy related things. I can't think of any of them.
Buoyancy related activities is what it says on his card.
I am a bobber and I dabble in other buoyancy related tactics and projects.
And matters.
Yeah.
So,
He's just like, he gets together with his family and forms like water wings. They just like cling arms around children so they don't drown.
we'll talk about it in a bit.
Okay.
The Risky Rat episode of Always.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So,
That was, I got to the end of that one and I texted you. I think it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I texted you like, that is the funniest thing.
I've watched it like 9 times now.
Yeah. Oh, really? I haven't watched it again since. But oh my God. And this season was really fun. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but that episode, just the ending alone was just like chef's kiss, very good. Okay, so Streetly, what was it again? Streetly Bringles. He is a bobber and
Bringles.
let's see.
Bengals.
Bingles, my bad, yeah.
It's okay.
Streetly Bingles.
He got confused with Streetly Bringles at school, and it was a kerfuffle to say that.
Oh, I love it. All right. He does bobbing related and buoyancy related activities. That's his job. Where does they live?
Why?
I think he's a fella. We've been calling him a fella. I think he's a fella.
Mm-hmm.
But where does he live?
Arizona.
Tucson, Arizona. That's also back. There's a lot of good stuff on the air right now, you guys, and it's a bummer that we get to watch it, but the people who brought it to us are not getting paid. This is turning into very strike heavy, but I'm not mad at it because I feel very strongly about this stuff, so I'm kind of bringing it up any chance I get. I think about it a lot, especially as someone who kind of moved down here for that wasn't the primary reason, but for some acting opportunities that are down here and stuff. And between writers and actors, it's just like those are the things that I've always been interested in, and I could still be doing stand-up, but I'm not. So, it's like I've decided to not do stand-up in favor of doing these other things that are more long form, and then now
And then there you're going.
So, yeah, I talk about it. I think about it a lot. He lives in Arizona. Love it. Streetly Bingles, Arizonian bobber and buoyancy efficiency expert. What does he eat? Not water. Nope.
Otherwise, he'd be bad at his job.
Yep. He survives. He doesn't eat water. What's the opposite of water? He eats fire. Is fire the opposite of water? I feel like, it feels like that's the right answer, but I don't know. Not like in a chemical sense. Certainly not. Hey, you, 5th person that just joined.
Okay.
What's the opposite of water?
You help settle this.
HO2, 1 hydrogen, 2 oxygen. What is that?
What if we just lost that person immediately?
I think we did. They're like, oh no, don't acknowledge me. No. Yeah.
The 4th wall is broken. The 4th wall is broken.
I thought I was safe. All right, he eats fire. Fuck it. He eats fire. His name is Streetly Bingles, and he is a bobber who eats fire. What's his dream, though? What's he dream? Does he like this job, you think, Drew?
He seems pretty happy just in
He
general.
does. Yeah.
He
does
seems
seem
to be
pretty
happy, like, going out fishing.
Maybe he like wants to like catch a shark or something, or just like some giant.
He's looking for the big catch.
Yeah. What if he's like he's a bobber, but he wants to do a different kind of hunting. He wants to shoot like a giant. I was gonna say like a moose or something, but like, we went there. I like it. Of course, we had to, Drew. Look how adorable this character was.
All the time.
Had to kill people. Ugh, it was inevitable. All right, Streely Bingles. He eats fire. He wants to kill a man. Generally, he just stays in the water, keeping things floating. And he lives in Arizona. Very nice. Very cool. What does he sound like, Drew?
I think he's got kind of a real wispy voice. He's really excited to be here, though. Don't take his tone as a indicator of his excitement, because he is very happy to be here.
Yeah, I like that. That voice seems very appropriate. Actually, let's put the bigger one up there, and then you just like talk behind them. Let's see how that works.
I used to work with worms, but those sons of bitches can be real catty. They form lots of cliques. Don't trust them.
Yep, that is exactly what Streely Bingles sounds like, for sure. And of course, the most important question, Drew, who is his favorite member of the Wu-Tang Clan?
I think he would politely answer somebody like Questlove.
I was gonna say with the hat, I just feel like he's just gonna like, go out of left field. He'll be like, I like LL Cool J. Not much of an East Coast guy, me. But that's not what he sounds like. Say that in his voice, Drew.
What you just said?
Yeah, just say that you like LL Cool J and that you're not much of an East Coast guy.
I'm from the East Coast, so I gotta say I rep a lot of East Coast people. Yeah. I gotta say, LL Cool J's brother, he's my dog, yo.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. For life. Yeah. Have you seen that show, the NCIS? God damn, he's amazing.
That'd be great if he only knows LL Cool J from NCIS Los Angeles. Which, by the way, like I saw something recently where, somebody was like, "Hey, did you know this guy does music? The guy from."
No.
I bet that happens with like Ice-T a lot now too. Like, that dude from Law and Order Special Victims Unit like makes music too. You know about that? Crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and put our hands for Streely Bingles, everybody. Streely, thank you. Thank you for being here.
Remember, I posted a Craigslist ad, and it's pretty specific. So, post the link in the comments.
I really hope he never gets his
FBI
stream.
is taking it down. Well.
His Craigslist ad is just for a man who's willing to be hunted.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh my god. All right, well, hands for Streely Bingles. More strike talk real quick. So one of the SAG rules, and again, like I feel like I can say all of this as someone who is not in the unions. I do like they are prohibited actors from promoting their own projects at this point, because that is the thing that studios kind of rely on their actors to do to like just get the numbers up to watch things. it's like I feel conflicted. I don't want to like keep making studios like money if they're not going to be blah blah blah. It's it's a conflicted thing, but also like SAG and WGA are not calling for boycotts or anything of any streaming service or anything at this point either. But I just want to reiterate some of these things because I think they're great. I think the people involved in them, would be proud of these things and they would love to be talking about them. But like, if they're not going to be paid, they're not going to do that work either. But as someone who is, can be objective and just talk about things that I enjoy, watch Twisted Metal. It's really good. Watch Secret Invasion if you feel like it. I mean, that one's doesn't seem like as urgent to me. There was another one I was going to mention. I forget what it was now. Anyway, yeah, just watch some stuff if you can, and just, in the comments, once more, we have the links to all of these different organizations that you can donate to support the people who are striking and the people who are affected by the strikes. Once again, if you have interest in writing, check out Word by Word with Ed Solomon and the Blacklist. This next one, they have Craig Mazin and Lindsay Dolan, who's been like a kind of a well-regarded script doctor for a long time, I guess. Worked with Sidney Pollack quite a bit, I guess. Everyone seems to regard her well. Well, she seems well regarded. And then Craig Mazin, of course, who adapted and runs the Last of Us show, which I know a lot of people are big fans of. He did Chernobyl, cool. But he also did like the Hangover sequels, and he has his own podcast called Script Notes with John August, and they talk a lot about script writing stuff. He's a little less beloved, but he knows what he's talking about. You may also recognize him from his part as like the most annoying person in the world, the tester on Mythic Quest. But he also wrote a really good episode of that. So, yes.
I'm just sending this to you now.
I got you. Yeah, I was trying to make it smooth as I navigated over to my email to wait for it,
I'm
but
a little slow this time. But you know what?
You're cool, man.
We're
not slow at all.
Working out our kinks.
Yeah, we're figuring it out. We've been gone for a couple months. Well, yeah. Yeah, we've been gone, again, all of June, all of July. Our last episode, I believe, was May 23rd. So, I don't know necessarily that we're going to be back next week right away, like maybe. Mm-hmm. But you got to be good. You got to earn it. And you got to donate to these organizations if you can. Mm-hmm. Again, like if you can. If you don't have the spare dough, I get it. I don't have a whole lot of spare dough at this point.
While we're waiting for that to come in, I'm not going to tell anybody how to vote, but Ohio next week has a special election. Please vote. Please know what you're going to vote on. There is only one issue. And anyways, I'm not going to tell anybody how to vote. I just vote.
Just make sure you're actually well informed on these things. I think, there are a lot of different organizations and campaigns who try to make things seem different than they are. So, I hate to sound like a flat earther, but just do your own research for real. And just because some folks like to lump things together that are not the same and tell you that if you vote a certain way that you are XYZ. And just figure it out for yourself and, vote good. Is that a good way to be diplomatic about it, but also get our point across to?
Yeah. Be a good person.
Yeah, be a good person.
Just be gooder.
Mm-hmm. Let's take a look at Drew's tapestry here. All right, we got down there on the left corner, we got Scud the Disposable Assassin. Once again, shout out Rob Schraub. Friend of the show. I don't know that he knows about the show, but as far as
Yeah,
we're concerned,
but we like him.
we like him.
And Dino
Twisted Metal, I like.
Stamatopoulos, who's also on.
Yes,
on our
also
list of
shout out
cool
Dino.
ass dudes.
Yeah. Twisted Metal, I like that you drew a paperclip next to the Twisted Metal side. That was very cool. Scrolls. And this scroll looks angry. I like it. I like that we have Streetly Bingles saying pay up. He supports, even though he has aspirations to murder a man, he also supports writers and actors and unionization in general.
He's
Yes, we
not
are
all
back.
terrible.
No, he's not all the way terrible. Like he's got, and look how
He's getting
sweet
there.
he is.
He's getting.
Yeah, what's he sound like again, Drew?
Oh, I just really want you to pay your writers. Very important that you pay them their due. Because if you don't, I will find you. I will take you to my spot. And we will see what is what.
Really see what is what. All right. Oh, I accidentally took you out for a second. There we go. All right. Thank you guys for watching. We love you. Put your hands for Drew Rogers. Put your hands for Streetly Bingles. Put your hands for Ginger and her little bunkhouse. Put your hands for the Twisted Metal Show. Put your hands for the WGA. Put your hands for SAG-AFTRA. Put your hands for Samuel L. Jackson. I feel like, he's getting, his performance is pretty great in the show. In Secret Invasion. Don Cheadle as well, for that matter. Put your hands for them and Olivia Colman. Put your hands for yourselves. Put your hands for our producers, Anna Kapakova and Cameron Rogers. Put your hands for, voting good.
Mm-hmm.
And
your family and your friends. I
yeah,
hope you're eating well. I hope you're doing well.
I hope so.
Good to be back.
Put your hands for there was a new episode of You Talking You Two to Me today, which you kind of reminded me of, with Adam Scott and Scott Ackerman. Listen to that. I don't give a shit about YouTube, but that's a very fun show to listen to. I guess that's it. I'm vamping now because I can't find where the button is, and now I have found the button.
Hey,
We
everybody.
love you. Put your hands.